Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, teachers of Bayside High School, please get on your feet. Put your hands together for your new principal, the Dean of Discipline, the Sultan of Schools, the Ayakoka of Instruction, the one, the only, Zachary Urquhart.
Thank you. I am so glad to be here. I'm so glad to be your new principal here at Bayside High School. And let me tell you, we have some amazing things that are going to be happening this year. Now, I know what you're thinking. I see those eyeballs going up and down. You're sitting there thinking, wondering to yourself, is this one of those guys, I mean, he played music when he walked in. Is this one of those principals that's always, trying to be buddy and trying to be our friend and stuff?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Or is it one of those guys who just always giving us stuff to do and making us fill out paperwork and just mean? The answer to both of those questions is yes. I hope that part of my legacy as a leader is that I do things differently. I do them my way. And I can be friendly and we can chit-chat when the time calls. And sometimes we'll have tough conversations. And either way, I'll be leading effectively. If you come up to me on a Monday and all you want to talk about is your kid's t-ball game and how he got his first hit, you know what I want to do right then is I want to hear about your kid's t-ball game, because part of being a leader and part of being a principal of the school is knowing your staff and caring about your staff. I don't expect you guys to come and tell me your deepest family secrets tomorrow, but I do hope that pretty quickly you'll realize that there's times I want to be friendly and your friend and sit and be able to chat. There's times where you need to do that with your kids, and that's part of why I do that. I think part of why I do it's because I think it's a good thing to do, and part of it is it models for you for what you do in your classroom. But there's going to be times that I do have to come in, and maybe you didn't give an assessment that the district said you were supposed to give, and maybe you think it's stupid, and maybe I don't. Maybe I think it's stupid too. But at the end of the day, as your boss, it may be that I have to come in and give you correction.
Like a boss.
And it's just like when I correct one of my children at home. It doesn't mean that I'm mad at them or anything like that, but I want to help them be better. And that's what I want for you, and that's what I hope you want for your students. And so I look at it a lot like I look at your relationship with your students, hopefully. And, that relationship that you have with your kids, it goes right into our mission and our vision as a school and as a staff. I want to thank the couple of you guys that came up this summer, guys and gals. Thanks, Terry and Megan, and thanks, Bill.
It's no problem.
A couple of your teachers that have been here for a long time came up and worked with me as we crafted. I've got kind of my general vision for a school, but that's got to fit with what you already have going on here at Bayside High. We'll have on the website a more fleshed out, lengthy thing, but when it gets down to it, I'm not too concerned about a bunch of, common terms and buzzwords and things like that. My vision when I'm at any school, but here right now, is to help Bayside High to be seen as a leader among schools by making kids who are leaders in the world. And to me, it's simpler than I think a lot of times we try to make it be. We want to be doing things that other schools want to emulate. We want to, we may not have every single test score the highest in the state. We may not have every single facility, every single program that someone else has. But we do want to have bits and pieces that other schools say, man, we wish we could do that. And then with that, we don't want to have any bits and pieces where people just kind of laugh and scoff. And a big part of that is making kids who are leaders in the world, who, when they're in trade schools or schools or in the working world next year, 2 years, that people are impressed and want to say, where did you get this training? Where did you,
You're the man now, dog.
Where did you learn to be this person? To where they'd say, man, it was Bayside High. And that to me is my personal vision for us. The question then is, how do you take my vision and put it with what we're already doing and make it our vision and make it your vision? there's things from district tests and curriculum that they are what they are. I don't get to come in and just make these wholesale changes and get rid of things from above my level. And part of that's the boss part of me, where it's, hey, I'm making sure you're doing those things and doing lesson plans and all that. Part of that's the friend part of me, where it's, we can get in my office and talk about how bad some of the things we have to do sucks, and it is what it is, and we make it work. But what I want you to think is, what are you doing in your classroom, you specifically, Mr. Smith, to make those kids in your room leaders? You teach math, some other guy across the hall teaches math, and some guy 20 miles away teaches math. What is it that you're doing to make those kids leaders? What is it that you're doing to make something different in your room than any other math classroom in this state? And then the other part of that is, how do you make your class a leader class among the school? And what I mean by that is, there can only be one best history class or best English class. What are you doing that makes yours better than someone else? And it's not really a competition, but it's that mindset of, what are those unique things I'm doing? Is it the way I present material? Is it the activities I do? Is it the empowerment I give the kids? And if you're not doing things, then I want you to start doing things so that kids might say, this is the best. That brings us to my personal mission, and it's real simple. And again, it'll look fancy where it's on the website or whatever, but what I want for educators, wherever I am, anytime I talk to a group, is to help students become problem finders so they can go solve those problems. For the last couple decades, we've talked in education about making kids problem solvers. We're going to give them a problem and let them solve it, because that's more, authentic. But I think we're stopping short. I think we need to be, giving them the skills, the math, the writing, the whatever it is that you're teaching.
These skills transfer.
That gives them that foundation. But really, we need to be releasing them to the world in such a way that it's, go and find things to improve. I mean, think of all the things we wouldn't have, or that wouldn't be as good as they are, in transportation and communication and so many important, crucial fields, and even in things like, entertainment and TV shows that, it's not that important in a lot of ways, but the other side of it is, this is something that we do love. Those things that wouldn't be what they are if it weren't for people going and saying, hey, people don't even talk about this, but there's a way we could be doing it better. And so what I want for us from you is to be, we're giving them skills, we're teaching them math, we're teaching them diagram sentences so that they can do the things they have to do to solve those problems. But I want us instilling an inquiring mind in our kids, to where they are going out in a year, 2 years, whether they're in college, whether they're in trade school, whether they're in the real world already, and they're going out looking for problems to solve, and then we've equipped them with the skills to solve them. So just like my vision becomes your vision, my mission becomes your mission, in our school's mission. And again, it's simple. We're not just here trying to give work to do. We're not just giving them worksheets for the sake of giving them worksheets. We're not just giving them problems to solve and saying, go and research these different environmental ideas for recycling. But we are saying, what are things that could get solved? What are problems that we could fix? What are things that we could make better? And we frame that within our English and our math and our science. And we do it in a way that they are thinking, do they really think they're going to go stand in front of the state senator with this proposal? Maybe not, probably not. But they're doing that work, and they're learning those lessons with that idea of, I could go and present this. I could go with this proposal because my math is solid, or because my science works, or because my verbal presentation is so good that they would listen. And we give them that authenticity to what they're doing.
Stay a while and listen.
To where it's instilled in their minds, and then they're going out in the real world eventually with that confidence that they are able to do things that matter. Whenever you talk about mission and vision, I think you leave thinking, but what does that really mean? And so it's real simple. I was social studies a long time ago, so we've got the 5 W's. Who, it's each of you. It's not just me saying let's do this, but it's you deciding and you wanting to empower our kids. The what is just that, it's choosing. I can't make a policy, I can't make a form, I can't make some, new thing we do that's going to make you be the teacher in your classroom that you can be. And so it's you choosing to empower your kids, your students, to do those things, to go and find those problems so that they can solve them. The win, it's now it's yesterday. Hopefully you for years have been, as an educator, going in thinking, I'm not just here to talk at kids, I'm not just here to write down problems and see if they did them right, but I'm here to give them a reason to care about what it is I'm trying to teach them. Hopefully that's been you. If it isn't, good news. Choose now to do that. The where, and here's the catchy thing, it's everywhere. It's not just in your room. Because if you in your room say, I'm going to do something fun for the kids, and then you come to a staff meeting or you go to a conference period with just a terrible attitude, then it's not going to be what it could be for you, for those kids in your room. Your room isn't going to be that leader among the school. And if our rooms aren't that way, then our school isn't what we're wanting it to be. It's and it's not just in this building. It's when you go to, Brookshire's on your conference period real quick, and instead of complaining and saying, yeah, I got to do this during my conference period because I don't have time, it's you saying, hey, I get to, buy this supply because my kids are going to do something they've never done and no one's ever done in a history class before. The why, it says deserve it. And that's not talking about the kids. They do. The kids deserve it. But it's really that you deserve it. See, the thing is, as you're empowering the kids, as you're being the teacher you can be, that's going to make it better for you. Because instead of it just being, I'm here talking and I'm here, teaching the way I've taught before, maybe it's the kids are realizing the importance, maybe not of this specific thing you're telling them right that moment, but big picture of what you're doing. And then the last one, because there's really 6 W's and the 5 W's, is the how. It's making it relevant. Use song lyrics and use singers and movies that they've seen and that they listen to, making it matter. It's not just here's a math problem, but it's this math problem helps us solve an issue that we can go to the school board with data to change a dress code or whatever it is. It's making it enjoyable. And here's the thing, for you that may be stuff on the computer. For someone else it may be, the way you deliver the material. I told jokes all the time in my class. Most of the time they weren't funny. But just imagine you're in this guy's class. I mean, who wouldn't want this teacher? Is this helping him explain math? No. But I promise this guy's kids love him. Now, I'm not telling you that you've got to dance around your classroom by any means. I do hope you'll do more than this guy. This is the kind of thing we hopefully aren't still seeing, where it's just, you droning on in front of your kids while most of them sleep, and at best they pretend to pay attention. But really the last part of it is making it your own. Because for you, maybe it is, just delivering the material in a way that the kids want to hear what you have to say. And that's awesome. If you have that gift, by all means, use it. For someone else, maybe it's, doing activities. And maybe for you, you see someone across the hall doing all this stuff on the computer, and you would never think that you could do that. Well, maybe your charisma rubs off on them. Maybe their tech savviness rubs off on you, and we all become better at what we do. Because I think that's a big part of this whole thing that we do. And so as we go through this year, as we get started, we'll be lesson planning, and we'll be doing some of that early stuff this afternoon. Hopefully you're able to see, hopefully you're able to grab hold of what we're trying to do. We're making problem finders who can be problem solvers. We're making kids who are leaders. We're making a school who's seen as a leader. And if we do all those things, then we can affect change the same way that we want our kids to affect change. Thank you. I cannot wait for this year.